Thank you, everybody. Go ahead, Stella.
Thank you. Welcome, members and guests, to FDW's Candidate Forum, featuring candidates running for office in Fayette County. I'll tell you who that is in this order. State Representative Deborah Bazemore, Commissioner Charles Rousseau from Board of Commissioners District 4, Senator Valencia C., and the following. Running for Board of Education District 4, Regina Daig, Miriam Guatney, Patty Mosley. For State Representative District 68, Tish Nagisi, Jane Williams. For State Representative 69, it is Deborah Bazemore. The candidate running for that office as well is not appearing today. Running for State Representative District 74, William Harris. Errol Mitchell, who also is running for State Representative District 74, is not appearing today. Now, I would like to ask the candidates to put their campaign information in the chat so that if you wish to receive contact from the voters or campaign contributions, this would be the way for you to receive that information and communicate with them. On that note, it's important for me to advise the people attending this meeting today that FDW may not endorse a candidate and where more than one Democratic candidate is competing for the same office until after the primary election. So the purpose of this candidate forum today is to inform you of these candidates so that you're armed with the information you need when you go to the polls to vote. It is imperative that you really get what you can out of this forum because the primary is just a month away. And there's a lot to be done to prepare for and get to the polls. And I'll get into the schedule for the primary later on. But this is to help you make an informed decision. Now, we have the honor of having a moderator present to actually moderate the discussion that will come from these candidates. It's our own Vicki Butler, who is a member of the Fayette Democratic Women. Tell you a little bit about her. She's been a resident of Tyrone for over 22 years. She's an entrepreneur, real estate advisor. She has had membership in several civic organizations, and she has the distinction of being elected president of the Fayette County Board of Realtors in 2018. They went 50 years without having an African-American as a leader in that organization, and that's quite an accomplishment. She also ran for Fayette County Commissioner in 2020, and we are looking for her to run sometime in the future again. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce Vicki Butler. Let me also say that the way in which we're going to conduct the forum is we're going to have the candidates do a brief introduction of up to 3 minutes. We have someone who will be timing the introductions and will give you a 30-second warning so that you can get in the information that you believe the voters need to hear. And then that will be followed by 1 or 2 additional questions of the candidates before we wrap up the forum. Now, Vicki, would you please begin with the candidates?
Great. Thank you, Stella. Can everyone hear me okay? Welcome to our candidates. Really appreciate you being here. And our first question, I have you all numbered in order of sequence here. So I will call on you according to my numbers. And if you could try to keep that in your head where you're falling or who you're coming before or who you're coming after. If not, I am here to remind you. So our first question is going to be, please introduce yourselves. You have 3 minutes. Explain who you are, what office you're running for again, and if this is a re-election or you're running against an incumbent. And we're going to start with State Representative Deborah Bazemore. And hi, Representative Bazemore, good to see you again.
Good afternoon.
From yesterday. But if you could go ahead and answer that question for us.
Okay, thank you so very much. It's always a pleasure and an honor to be with you ladies. And as it was said, my name is Deborah Bazemore, and I currently serve as state representative in District House 63, which encompasses a portion of Fulton, Fayette, and Clayton County. And I serve right now as the Chief Deputy Whip in leadership in the House of Representatives on the Democratic Caucus, which involves at least 1,000 legislation or bills, as you would call it, coming through. And I need to explain to my deputy whips what actually the information is and what impact it has on us, on you, if we are going to vote for it or against it. And it has been an interesting session with a lot of bad bills. And also, I have received the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award and also an honorary doctorate degree for my life's work. And I'm very proud of that and blessed. I'm truly blessed. As I've told you before, I was the chief of staff for a state senator. Prior to that, I was a community leader. So that is what thrust me into this arena. And I'm so proud that I'm able to stand up and serve. This is an assignment that I have right now, and I'm going to fulfill that assignment to the best of my ability. I have been chair and vice chair of several organizations. One, to create the city of South Fulton. As I told you before, we're coming up on our 5th year anniversary, which is excellent. And I was the president of Old National Area Residents United. I just ran from boot camp, HOA. So we talked about HOAs, we talked about bills. I'm a member of the NAACP, always attend the FDW meetings and appreciate everyone and all the work that's being done. I have worked with NAMI, which is a National Alliance on Mental Illness. You know, that is one of the major issues that
30 seconds.
that we're facing today. And I've had several mental health check-in for individuals suffering. And also human trafficking. I'm working with the First Lady on that and with the mayor of Atlanta and getting the word out. And we're pulling in some celebrities so that people could stop and really listen and pay attention to what is going on in our communities and that we can help our children and save them.
Thank you, Representative Bazemore. Hello, Commissioner Russo, how are you? Would you mind answering that question for us as well?
Certainly, and good afternoon to the President, Sarah, board members. Thank you for hosting this forum. I'm glad to be joined on here with our state rep and our state senator, who I think I saw in the gallery a little while ago, Senator C. It's a privilege and an honor to be able to serve this community in the capacity on the Board of Commissioners. I happen to be the only Democrat that serves on that committee, and hopefully through some of the work that we've been able to do is create a balance of thought. And we have been successful in that regard. My wife and I are 30-year residents of this community this year. Our children matriculated through the school system. We shop, we worship, and we entertain ourselves here in Fayette County. and surrounding jurisdictions as well. I'm a semi-retiree, still working real semi too. But I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you all for your ongoing leadership in this organization. Thank you for the continuous support that I enjoy from the members of this organization. Hopefully the work and efforts that we have put in on behalf of the citizens of this county, particularly District 4, have been beneficial. I'll highlight a few of those. The reason that I'm running again for District 4 on the county commission is because we have some unfinished work. We are proud to announce that we'll have the first ever recreation/community center built in the history of unincorporated Fayette County. An advocate, I've been an advocate for that, also an advocate of a new public health facility that will be built on the courthouse grounds over by our senior center. That has been on the radar and something that I've advocated for, and thank God that my colleagues have seen the wisdom and the light, if you will, on that subject matter and have voted to put funding with our rhetoric. And so we'll have a new animal shelter built in Peachtree City. Those are some of the unfinished projects that I'm running to see to completion on you all's behalf, this community, so that we enhance the quality of life, not just a buzz phrase, but that our business units are doing what we're supposed to do, which is provide a service. We are not in the widget making business. We don't produce a product. What we do is provide services. And hopefully we've elevated that service delivery strategy. And I'll be happy to go into more, but I'm particularly concerned in this final 30 seconds about some of the legislation that was passed recently by our Georgia state legislature regarding voting. We really need to get to our youth. We really need to get to our seniors to demystify and take away some of the anxiety that is associated with those changes. And I'm committed to continuing to work with you and to educate, engage, and mobilize this community. Thank you kindly for this opportunity. And I ask humbly for your continuous support in voting for me on starting May 2nd. Thank you kindly, ladies and gentlemen that I see in the chat as well, in the gallery as well.
Thank you, Commissioner Russo. State Senator C. State Senator C.
I was waiting on you all to unmute me, but I've unmuted myself. Good afternoon, and thank you all so much for having me. I want to start by saying happy Easter to everyone and happy Passover. It's been a joy. I've gotten my 20-year pin, and for those 20 years, I've had the pleasure of serving you all. I am so overwhelmed with the ability to stay in the legislature because of you all and all that you all do and bring to the legislature by way of me. However, this year has been the roughest I've had in all my years of serving, because totally I've been serving for 30 years. But with COVID and the mean spirit of my chamber, it's been even rough to get up and go to work. But for you all, it's worth it. It is worth every moment I spend down there fighting. But let me remind you, in this chamber where I serve, there are only 56 senators. But of the 56, that's 22 of us are Democrats. We have got to turn out the vote. Voting that entire ballot every time any names are on the ballot is paramount in taking over Georgia. Georgia being the state that it is, the state that I was born and raised in, the state that I love so dearly, should not be in a posture that we are in today. We have got to get out there and make sure that they vote the ballot down the line every single time. When we vote, we win, but we cannot be haphazardly voting. We can't vote for local and then don't vote for state. We can't vote. We got to vote every time, turn it out, so we as strong Democrats can lead us in a way that we all can get along, and it's not all of the bickering and the fighting and all of the things that we have to go through. It is a challenge. I've been up for the challenge, and I appreciate everybody allowing me to be a part of that challenge. The other thing I wanted to make sure you all understand that
30 seconds.
Charles and Deborah and the rest of the team, we work together, we collaborate. We may not always be together, but we will pick up the phone, send a text, and let each other know to make sure you all are covered on every level. I love you all so much, and I'm always available. So thank you. But let's turn out the vote in big numbers so we can win back the majority. 22 in the Senate just won't cut it. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator C. Candidate State Representative District 68, Tish Nagisi.
Okay, I unmuted myself. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Federation of Democratic Women, for allowing me to spend an opportunity with you to tell you about myself. Some of you I've known for years because I've been a body of this organization. My name is Tish Nagisi, and I am running to be your representative in House District 68, which is Tyrone, Peachtree City, Fayetteville, Northwest Fayetteville, Union City, a little bit of College Park, South Fulton, and Fairburn. And I want to tell you a little about me. I'm a longtime resident of Georgia. I was born here, a Grady baby, as we would call. My family lived in Adamsville, Atlanta. We moved to the East DeKalb. From East DeKalb, I lived in South Fulton, where my family and I still have vested interest. And now I'm in Fayetteville. I've been in Fayetteville since 2002. I had one young son that matriculated through South Sandy Creek High School in Fayetteville. And I had an older son who matriculated from Tri-Cities, which is actually in South Fulton, East Point. Why I am running for this at this time, I've had opportunities to run other people's campaign. I was in President Obama campaign 2008 through 2012. I worked in Fayette County and Clayton County. And as a part of that organization, we were called fellows. And I had an opportunity to grassroots organize. That gave me the knowledge that I have right now to go ahead and continue to do the work that I'm going to continue to do at the Dome. On the same day that Federal Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson received 53 votes to become the next justice, I too was celebrated with the C.T. Vivian family, who gave me a scholarship because I was taking a course, 16-week course in leadership. And I wrote a sermon that they are going to be publishing, as well as the scholarship. So I was honored on the same day. That
30
was
seconds.
really big for me. Lastly, there are some things that I want to accomplish at the Dome regarding the permitless guns laws and some other things. And I'll talk about that in the next section, in the next segment. Again, my name is Tish Nagisi, and you can reach me at TISH4 Georgia spelled out.com to contribute, to make phone calls, and to knock on doors for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tish. Candidate State Representative District 74, William Harris.
Hello, everyone. My name is William Harris. A lot of you will remember me from my run in 2020. I'm running again. I'm a long-term candidate. I'm hooked. I'm an investment. I'm a great investment for this. This year, we're kind of consolidating my platform into just several little things. I was endorsed by Stacey Abrams in 2020, of course, but we're going to work on raising our wages, expanding healthcare, protecting our local environment, and we're going to fight to legalize cannabis. We can go over each of these as quickly as we can, but we need to raise wages. Minimum wage right now is $7.25. Whenever you account in inflation, we've actually lost 25% of our purchasing power from that. That would be equivalent to about $5 of purchasing power whenever minimum wage was passed in 2009. We need to expand our healthcare. We have one of the highest infant mortality rates in the country, and we know why. It's because we're closing our hospitals. We know why we're closing our hospitals. It's because our Republican leadership in Atlanta is not taking free federal money to expand our healthcare services. We need to protect our local environment. This means adequate investments into green renewable technologies. It means that we're going to actually start to take proper stewardship of our environment. And then we need to legalize cannabis, marijuana. This is going to be treated the exact same way as alcohol. It's going to create billions of dollars of additional revenue for the state of Georgia, which is going to allow us to either invest more properly into our social services that we provide as a state, or is going to allow us to do more tax refunds for the working class people of the state. Big thing about the legalizing of cannabis is that it would need to include the complete expungement of nonviolent marijuana-related crimes within our prison system. And then it's also going to help out our communities because we're wasting about $5,000 a month $5,000 per marijuana-related arrest and about $70,000 per felony conviction. So we're going to start saving tax money doing all of this. Again, I'm running again for State House District 74, which has been redistricted to include all of South Fayette County now, a little bit of Peachtree City, and it's also going to include West Spalding County, and it also includes Henry County up into Hampton. I'm going to include my information into the chat here, and we're also have nice little shirts and everything like that now. Feel free to let me know if y'all have any questions or concerns about me or my platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. The next speaker will be Patty Mosley, candidate for Board of Education, District 4.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Patty Mosley, and I've been an educator for 28 years. I also have a nonprofit where I offer mentoring, and I'm also a children's book author. I focus on social emotional learning, SEL, as well as careers. I basically focus on education from K through 12, magnet, gifted, foster care, group homes, remediation. I created a STEAM Academy, ESOL, I focus with ESOL as well as other certifications. I've been a teacher support specialist, grade level chair. I've been a PBIS coach, literacy coach, learn to lead for assistant principals, mentoring. I created HBCU camps. I am a graduate of Florida A&M University as well. And I had the privilege of having my granddaughters in Peachtree City Elementary, and under the principalship of Dr. Berryman, I believe, and she is excellent. And of course, I'm vested in Fayette County, and I've taught parenting classes as well. I focus with DES. I've attended several conferences throughout the nation, and I've received a proclamation from the commissioner in Clayton County. I've been a Teacher of the Year, multi-nominee, as well as Teacher of the Month, Read 180 All-Star. I have a strong interest in Orton-Gillingham training for students who have dyslexia, as well as students who are struggling. My daughter was a reading specialist at Atlanta Speech School. She's also a therapist in Fayetteville and lives in Peachtree City. And that's one thing that she shared with me, that she would like to see that being utilized in the county. And I looked at the data. It was 67% of third grade students at reading on grade level. So that's something that I would definitely like to focus on, as well as offer resources because of my expertise, because of my experience. And I have passion, I have energy. I'm not going anywhere. I was in my mother's womb when Martin Luther King died. So it's already in me, it's embedded in me to change the world, one student at a time, one parent at a time. And so that's where God has me. This is my element. This is what I do. This is my calling. And I have no problems with Fayetteville in terms of where they are, but we can move in a better direction, moving forward, focusing on not being so subtle in terms of the diversity.
30 seconds.
More African Americans involved in our school system, especially in administration. changing the discipline that goes on in terms of the school. I know they have a low discipline record, but I do want to make sure that it's fair in terms of African Americans or minorities. And just to mitigate anything that basically is unequal, that's unfair, making sure that there's equity for all. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your vote.
Thank you, Ms. Mosley. And Regina, I'm gonna butcher your name here, so you may need to help me. Board of Education District 4 candidate Regina Dagry. Is she here?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you. I've heard it pronounced so many different types of ways, and I accept all of them. But to give you an easy way to pronounce it, it's Daig as in vague. So it's really, really simple. Daig as in vague. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for making it, this opportunity available for all of the candidates to come here and share who we are. Look, let me tell you something. This race is a win-win-win because we have 3 Black women that are running. It's a win-win-win. I don't care how you slice it. It's a win-win-win for us. I am Dr. Regina Daig, and I've been in Fayette County for more than 15 years now, and I am married to Sean Daig Sr. We have been married for more than 31 years, about to approach 32. I was actually tiptoeing around when Dr. King was assassinated. Now, let me tell you why I'm running. I want you to remember the peach. 3 reasons why I'm running. Parental engagement. I don't believe we can ever go wrong with parental engagement because it's because of what my parents did with me that made me who I am today and made me successful. My parents never graduated from high school. My mother had an 8th grade education and my father had an 11th grade education, barely, but they emphasized education in our home. And I believe it is the power of parental engagement that causes students to be academically successful, and then not just successful in high school, but beyond high school. The second letter is the C. I spell peach, PCH. You know, educators come up with acronyms all the time, okay? So just remember the peach. Number 1, parental engagement. Number 2, career readiness. It doesn't matter if the student is going to college, trade school, or wherever they're going. They're going to end up with a career. They may take a different path, but they all will one day have a career. An entrepreneur has a career. The doctor has a career. The dentist has a career. The lawyer has a career. But there are many other careers out there where students can be successful in life. And because we all know not everyone is going to be a doctor. Not everyone is going to be a lawyer. Not everyone is going to be a teacher. But there are many careers out there that will lead students on the right path. So career readiness is key to me. I have 2 sons, 127 and 121, 1 ADD and gifted, 1 ADHD and gifted. And let me tell you something, we had our hands full, okay? But we were involved parents. So number 1, parental engagement. Number 2, career readiness. My 3rd tier of my platform is a high quality virtual option. Now that does not mean we get away with traditional education. We need the face-to-face. Some students learn better face-to-face, while other students learn better virtually. And let me tell you, they can learn virtually. Anytime you can put up a TikTok and do a dance, then everybody, before you know it, millions and millions are copying that dance.
30 seconds.
We could use virtual digital platforms to get our students educated. I want to direct you to my website, reginadaig.org. My team has really helped me to get that website developed. You can go to reginadaig.org, find out more information about me. I cannot begin to tell you about my educational career because my vita is more than 10 pages long, but you can download my vita at reginadaig.org so you can learn more about me. I've worked in K-12 education, higher education, all facets of education, and I am a dedicated Fayette County Democratic woman, Democratic mom that's ready to work for you. Not only do my sons have been successful, but I want everybody's child to be successful. So if you vote Regina Daig, you won't vote wrong. Thank you for this opportunity to greet everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Daig. Our next person and last speaker for this particular series of questions is Miriam, and you're going to have to forgive me as well. Is it Gatney? Miriam?
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, my name is Dr. Miriam Gwathney. I know that's a very difficult one. I don't know that was chosen by my father. That's my maiden name. I am married to my husband who has his last name. He's from Africa. He's from Togo, is Wiso. So you choose which one you want to choose, but they all have something to think about. And that's what I want you to think about is me. So my name is Dr. Gwathney, and I just wanted to let everyone know, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity so I can talk to you about what I want to do. I want to first tell you where I've been, what I have done, where I am now, and what I plan to do. So where I've been, I was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with two hardworking parents, my mother and father. My father worked as a water treatment company, and my mother came from Haiti and came here. And that story is another story in itself. Very poor country, still is very poor, but they're very strong family matters. I'm here now in Florida with my uncle, pediatrician from Haiti, came here. And they gave me that structure and power so that I can be who I am today. I was born and raised in Philadelphia with my brother, Catholic school system, went through in high school and decided that I do want to go to college. I went to university at Temple University. I also went to Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine to become a physician. As a physician, I was able to gain a scholarship for the National Health Service Corps, which allowed me to work in underserved communities. Well, the Lord pressed me in those areas and said that there is a need in the United States, not in other parts of the world where I could have gone, but there is a need in the United States. And it led me to see what can be done. There's a lot of things that were accepted that I felt was not acceptable. That child can just, I ask a child, well, what's your grade? Well, an F. What did you get? Well, a D. No. In my household, that was not acceptable. You have to have good grades. Now, every child is not going to learn the same way. Every child is not going to learn A, B, C, D, E. Some children will learn pictures, boats, cars, things. That is the concept that some children will learn. Some children will learn through art and music. So I went through that. I did community service in different areas in Florida.
30 seconds.
And now I'm working with Kaiser Permanente as a family practice physician. I've been in Fayette County for 14 years. I realized that I have to do some work here. And I plan to do that, to work for children, to raise awareness for children with disabilities, such as mental disabilities. My son has autism. My daughter has ADHD. And these children need to have a voice. And I will give them that voice. And I will work hard for everyone in this. I thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Gwatney. Stella, how are you doing on time?
We have Jane Williams. Jane Williams, who has not spoken yet.
She is not on my list, but if you want to just go ahead and introduce yourself, Ms. Williams.
Yes. Hello, everyone, and thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Jane Williams. I am a candidate for State House Representative District 68, which encompasses Union City, Fairburn, College Park, Tyrone, Peachtree City, and north of Fayetteville. I have lived in this district for 18 years. This district is being vacated by Derek Jackson, who is running for Lieutenant Governor. So this is an open seat. I am a Georgia native, born and raised in Loganville, Georgia. I'm a first-generation college grad, raised by a single mother. This is my first run, and I am excited about it. I'm not your regular politician. I'm not a career politician. I'm not a polished politician, but what I am is a person who has a heart for the people, a passion for change, change for my community, and a servant in the community. I work with seniors in my community.
organizing and voter registration drives, bringing awareness to election dates and candidates, as well as helping the seniors to know when to request their ballot application and where their drop box locations are. I've been an advocate, and being an advocate, you want to be treated fairly, and government should be fair, which is why I'm running. I'm running because I'm frustrated with government. Our democracy is under attack. Congress has failed to introduce voting rights legislation. The United States Supreme Court struck down Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Governor Kemp has signed one of the most egregious voting rights laws since the Jim Crow era, Senate Bill 202. He has also passed the permitless carry legislation. We already have high crime. I don't think we have enough checks and balances
30 seconds.
in this legislation. Inflation is off the charts. We need affordable housing, affordable health care. Equity should be for everyone. We need climate control. If elected, I will work hard for the people in my district. And we need to do this together, everyone, because our democracy, as we've all said, is under attack. And I believe we can do it. Vote all the way down the ticket. Tell all your friends. Tell your family members. Vote down the ticket. I'm Jane Williams, candidate, State Representative District 68. You want change and want it together, vote for Jane. My information is in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Stella, do we have time for the second question?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so we're going to start with State Representative Bazemore. Why should I or anyone else on this Zoom meeting vote for you?
So thank you for the question. And why should you vote for me is because my heart is in this. And it's not just something that I want to do. It's something that I have to do for my constituents. I represent, and I believe I represent well. I listen, and I am attentive to my constituents. I am in the community. I started in the community. So that means I walked amongst the constituents, and I know what it is to start from that point and then to move up and have those responsibilities and to not take them lightly. And I've been doing the work. I have been doing the work before, as I said earlier, before I even got elected in 2016. I have been doing the work. So I will continue to do the work. I know that, as I said, this is an assignment. I understand assignments, and I am going to fulfill this assignment until you all say that time is up. But first, the Lord has to say, it's time for you to bring somebody else in. And that's my other objective. I'm going to make sure that when I know that my time is up, I'm going to pull someone in, bring them down, let them build relationships, because that's what I do. And I believe in building relationships on both sides of the aisle. Build relationships, make sure they know the processes so that when I step out, they step in, and you all will be left in good hands. And I know that that person is equipped with everything they need to represent you well. But right now, it's still my time. I have not heard step down. So I would appreciate each and every vote, and I appreciate each and every one of you.
Thank you, Representative Bazemore. Commissioner Russo?
Well, Vicki, again, thank you for the question. I appreciate it very much. I like to think that I've been a voice, an advocate, and a servant leader of this community. And as a result of that, those things that I mentioned earlier when I was introducing myself could be in jeopardy. if an individual such as myself is not at the table and knows where those dollars are located, that they're not reallocated somewhere else, and that this vision that we put forward comes to reality. The health center, recreation center, animal shelter. Those are the things that I mentioned earlier that are new to the county, but again, enhancing our service delivery strategy is critically important, and my colleagues know that I hold them accountable for that. We have new fire stations in our district. We have new traffic lights that save lives. Our paving that's been done in this particular part of the county that has been neglected, quite frankly, for decades, is being done. The roundabout at Brogdon and New Hope just opened up. Those are examples, continuous examples of delivering resources back into this particular community. And I haven't, and I think all of you all aware, put particular emphasis just on District 4. Our votes speak to issues that affect the entire county. And so I like to think that, again, I've been a good voice, a good advocate, and a good servant leader. And that's why I'm offering myself again. These seats do not belong to us. They belong to you, the people. As a result of that, we have to put ourselves before you every 4 years, and you all weigh on the merits of our performance, whether or not we have met the standard that you have set for us as elected officials, that we have conducted ourselves in a manner that makes you proud. And I'm at that point again where I have to offer myself for your favorable consideration, and I put my body of work forward as a result of that, and ask that you see it. I'll be happy to answer any questions anybody might have outside of this chat. I know our time is limited. I think my number is on every restroom wall in the county, so it's not hard for anybody to get in contact with me because the number rings morning, noon, and night. And I want to thank my wife of 38 years for standing beside me and being a partner in this journey. I value her greatly. Again, we don't do this alone. We have family that stands with us. And again, thank you for the continuous support of this organization. I value it. I hope I have not taken it lightly. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Russo. Senator C.
Okay, I am so honored that I am a senior in the Senate representing you all. Why do I bring that up? It makes a difference. Institutional knowledge makes a difference. Most of the guys that I was talking about who served in the Senate of the 56, I helped train because they came there because they were in the majority party. But we're all in it together, and it's for the betterment of Georgians. I know I was called to serve, and the proof is 30 years. In 30 years, I'm still standing, and I have to thank you all for keeping me, because you could have made plenty of other choices, but I've been kept for 30 years. I want to go and steal a little bit from my friend Russo, because family is important. Many of you already know my children and my grandchildren, but very seldom you hear me talk about 45 years to the same man, my husband. My husband is the rock, and I appreciate him sticking and staying with me, coming to all of this, trying to cook, prepare, and do all these other things that these wives, us wives, do. But family is important. Family is the bedrock. Family is your legacy. And that's why you hear all about the grands and the children, because that's that next generation. When I retire, I want strong leadership to step in. And just because we are not physically there, we got so many ways of communication with these devices and all, I'm still going to be accessible. The Lord left me here for a reason, and I want to make sure that we continue to represent. And you all know I have Clayton and Fayette, and I actually reside in Clayton County, but my daughter, my cousin, my nieces, they all in Fayette County. So I got a lot of family down there in Fayette as well. So I am so proud to be of service. I am so proud that I was chosen, and I am so proud that I've been kept. for 30 years, but this old building keep on leaning, but we're gonna fight
30
on till
seconds.
the end is over. My time is over. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator C. Candidate Negisi?
Thank you. I'll tell you again, I am a proven leader. My state senator awarded me in 2016 with the Servant Leader Award. And that is because I lead by example. I'm going to serve the people. I'm going to be able to mold consensus. And I'll tell you, one of my favorite quotes is what Dr. Martin Luther King said: "A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus." And I always think about what does that mean? Because it was an educator who taught me that specific quote. And when it came to mind, it says I thought about it, King is telling us that if we want to be leaders, we need to lead. That is, we need to develop ideas and convince others of their merit. I have been in this community since 2002, and I have gone on the ground working. My dad was a Teamster when he died, and he taught me people-centered democracy. And I'm an environmentalist. I am also the first Black woman to lead and co-chair Vice President Al Gore's Climate Reality Project in Atlanta. That means I get to talk to our communities regarding the things that we need to change, have sustainable energy in our communities. I get to sit at the table to make strategic decisions. And I always wanted to do that. And I spoke at 2 rallies to bring awareness. When I stated earlier that I was received that scholarship from C.T. Vivian, he always said to get in the action, and I've always been in the action. When they called me to say that they wanted me to speak at a rally on April the 4th, I went there. I spoke to our public service commissioners to tell them the things that we wanted to have changed as it relates to climate reality. I said that it is taped. I also received the Berlin Murrow Awards by the Georgia Federation of Democratic Women, which is I want to say the mother portion of Fayette Democratic Women. I got that award in 2018, awarded to me by the President Gail Butner, and she did that because of my leadership skills, ability to be the consensus. I knocked on doors to get signatures. I went to Lincoln County where they were trying to close up all of their polling locations to have one. I went there specifically to write that because I want to be in the action. And if you send me to the House of Representatives, I will be there in the action, ensuring that our communities are going to be held to the highest esteem. And also to have discourse, because I see that happening now in our democracy, and I want to be the one that has consensus and to be a molder of that consensus. Again, that is TISH4Georgia.com. That is my website. Please go there. I need your assistance, and thank you for your vote.
Thank you, Candidate Negisi. Candidate Harris?
Yes, thank you. So why vote for me? Again, I'm a long-term candidate, so I'm an investment. They keep trying to make this district more conservative, but I'm supposed to get around 38% of the vote, but in 2020, I got 44% of the vote. I got 4,200, well, almost 4,200 more votes than the previous Democratic candidate who ran in 2016. Between 2016 and 2020, that resulted in a 50% increase in votes for Democrat for my Democratic campaign, whereupon my opponent on the Republican only saw an increase of 4% in voting. So we're going to flip this one way or another. I'm also a bridge candidate, so I have a wide range of appeal to my constituents, but more importantly, I don't compromise with our ideals. I don't compromise with ideals that we find on the left. For this primary season, I was just endorsed by Georgia Equality, which is our kind of our vanguard pack for LGBTQ issues and policy. I've already canvassed over more than 60 miles of housing with lit drops, knocking on doors, putting out signs and stuff like that. And as I hinted at in the chat earlier, I'm also a good organizer. I have several organizations under my belt already, but my upcoming organization that I'm working on is going to be the Young Dems of Fayette County. I'm already working with the Young Dems of Georgia and the Young Dems of Henry County in order to get this done. It's the theme is that we've heard here recently was we need to incorporate more young voters. I'm 34 years old. I'm technically a young Dem of Democrat members myself. And so these are all big reasons to vote for me. I believe that I have a great chance to win not only this primary that I'm running in right now, but also in the general election. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate Harris. Candidate Mosley.
Why I should be your Fayette County Board of Education District 4 board member is because I'm an innovator. I'm resourceful. If it's not there, I create it, and it comes from God. I have that gift and that ability. And I'm fair. I know how to make decisions. And I listen, as I can piggyback on a couple of the other candidates. I believe in equity and equality for all. So I fight for that. I will be the voice, but also allow others to be a voice, as in parents and students and stakeholders. I had the privilege of campaigning for Stacey Abrams, and as someone mentioned, Harris mentioned about the Young Democrats. She came to meet us when she was running for governor and allowed us to share with her our concerns. So I want that same support for me, for others who want to help me in this campaign. And I'll continue to campaign for her as well, because I believe in what she stands for. I want to be ahead of the game from that prison to pipeline, because that score, that 67%, if it gets a little bit lower, they're going to build prison cells for anyone that does not have a reading level above level or on level for 3rd grade. And that's how they build the prisons. And I want to get ahead of that before that gets lower. Fayette County is like a microcosm. I will say that, but we want to basically change that trajectory to be even better in terms of being fair, in terms of making sure that students get an opportunity to learn more in terms of college readiness, technical schools. Again, they can choose to go wherever they want to go, but basically making sure that we're supporting in that. And kids need that. Times are changing. I was quite flabbergasted when I got the information about the discipline not being fair, but I want to change it because I do know they do have a low discipline rate, but I want to change that so that it's not just on one particular group of people. And I just feel like, I can do this. I have the experience. I have the intellect. I know how to go out and get and do. I'm a game changer, and I'm not afraid. As someone said earlier, I was born for this. I've been in education. That is my path. That is my calling. I know how to read and research. I've worked for a law school, and I know that with my children, that drives me to think about other people's children like I thought about my own children. My son is a 14-year cancer survivor, and he has a prosthetic leg, and I did not give up on him. Now
30 seconds.
And you'll see him in the movie. My daughter is a therapist in Peachtree City, in Fayetteville, but she lives in Peachtree City. I want to see children succeed just like my own children succeed. That's what I tell my kids, my students every day. And I want to see success for parents. I want them to be more involved. And I have ways to do that, to get them to be more involved. It's just a matter of they like you, they support you, you care. And when they know you care, they care. And I have that privilege of being able to do that. And I want to use that for a district, not just a school, not just a group of parents, but for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate Mosley. Candidate Bay.
Did you say Dave? Yes.
You got me stuck on vague.
Just wanted to be sure.
Dave.
Thank you. One of the reasons why I'm running, I'm a person that can work through invisible barriers. I can also work across organizational lines. And this is something that I developed along the way, I'm for CTAE, career, technical, and agricultural education. I grew up in a rural area. Rural poor. We were dirt poor. And I believe if someone like myself could get through the barriers that I had to face to get where I am today, I would like for every child to have that opportunity. I wasn't supposed to make it. I was a statistic. My family was so poor, we had to look up to touch bottom. My father made about $3,000 a year, and I had 7 brothers and sisters, and we lived in a 3-bedroom shack. To be honest, I didn't know we were so poor. I thought everything was all right because my parents were happy. We were happy. Everybody had a good attitude about everything, and my parents emphasized education. They told me that education was the way out, and I had the audacity to believe that. And I didn't recognize how poor I was until I stepped foot on Southern University campus. And I saw folks driving nice cars and wearing nice clothes. I didn't have that, but it did not stop me. And the other day I said, wow, I'm here. I had a traumatic event to happen in my life in 2000. It was on my son's 1-year-old birthday. Our automobile flipped 5 times on I-65 South. And I was left with a 6-inch laceration in my head, a crushed wrist, 2 broken legs, my right femur. And today I have hardware both of my legs and my hand. And they told me they didn't know if I would ever walk again, but I got up and I walked again through months of therapy, and then made the decision, hey, let's go to Atlanta. I want to go back to Atlanta because I'd been here before. And my family came here and we started over in 2002. And I've been here in Fayette County for 15 years, spent 3 years in Jonesboro. But I believe in the right of every child. Every child deserves a good education. Every child deserves to be successful. And if I can be successful with all the barriers that I've experienced, I am a fighter, I am resilient, and I will come
30
back.
seconds.
No matter how hard I get knocked down, I'm gonna come back. This is the passion. And this is what I share with other people when I go to schools to speak. I share this passion with other people. You can get back up. You can be resilient. You can come back. Even when people say that you are a statistic and you can't make it, let's make them out of a liar. And that's what we're going to do in this election. We're going to make them out of a liar because, like I said, no matter how we go, it's going to be a win-win-win. And you should vote for me because I am resilient. I will come back and I will fight for every child to the end.
Thank you, Dr. Day, Candidate Day. Candidate Watney?
Sorry about that. Hello, everyone. Yes, so why should you vote for me? Basically, because I'm grassroots from the core. Since my life, I've been always grassroots. Born in Philadelphia, in one of the 5th largest at that time city in America, but also the worst in crime, worst in drug dealing, worst in everything for the African American. But I know in Philadelphia how to fight. And I've been like that since I was a child, drudging through the soil, starting from my education. And at the higher that I went up, the harder it was. Going to medical school, having peers in my class telling me, how did you get into medical school? How you think I got into medical school? I studied my ass off. Now, from what I've been through, I know that other children are going through that as well, especially in Fayette County. Fayette County is not a game to play with. Yes, we are one of the higher ones in this state, but the children, African American children, and the Democratic children have problems. You can't have every child sitting there with, oh yes, I get A's and B's and yes, no. What about the child who gets D's and F's? What do? Do you brush them underneath the rug? Do you just kick them to the side? No. That's not in my book. I will work hard for those children because I know how it is. Listen, I get up, I have a disability. My condition is called hereditary spastic paraparesis. None of y'all probably never even knew about that. I didn't know about it. I've been through 20 years trying to do all kind of things, lumbar tap, walk with a cane. I have a disability, but let me tell you something, I'm not disabled. I will let everybody know what my disability is and what you're supposed to do. Everybody should know what the ADA does. When I walk into a building, I make sure that they have access for the disabled. And I will let every child who is disabled have that access in the school system, in every establishment. And I will work hard. Don't underestimate me. I may be quiet, I may be subtle, but I know how to work. I've worked in the Kaiser Health System with physicians and my peers to
30
put
seconds.
policies up for them, for my patients who they didn't, their coworkers didn't understand them. I worked hard for them because they have worked hard in the field. They may have back pain, hypertension, COPD. I will work through it and I tell them, listen, now if you don't, nobody else knows, I will find out for you and I will find out for every child. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate Dr. Gwatney. Candidate Williams.
Hello again, everyone. I bring a difference to the table. I worked in government for 14 years in the private sector, and with that, working with the underserved. We need more women in the house, y'all. I am that woman. I will bring an amplified voice to the table. I will work tirelessly, and I will listen. I will listen to the concerns of the citizens of my district. I have one life, and that is to make a difference. You know, we have a big concern, and everyone has tapped on it today: voting rights. There are many concerns, y'all, and we must continue to fight to protect our voting rights. And we must introduce new things to get people to vote. How about same-day voter registration? How about that? You know, I will be the voice. I believe in equality for everyone. Just as Martin Luther King Jr. said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. And it's a lot out there, y'all, that matters. It is a lot. You know, we got rising inflation, people trying to decide whether they should pay for their medication, whether they ought to be paying for gas, whether they ought to be paying for food. Some don't even have health care. Health care shouldn't even be a discussion anymore. It just is a right for everyone. We have a high mortality rate here. Hospitals, at least in this district, we don't have any closed hospitals. One just closed its doors. We need equality for everyone. I will work hard for my district. If you're in District 68, I hope you will vote for me. I'm Jane Williams, candidate for District 68. And I thank you for your vote, and I thank you for today.
Thank you, candidate Williams. Everyone, this concludes our question and answer forum. And I just want to thank all the candidates for being here and thank you for sharing with us. And I'd like to now turn it back over to Stella Moret.
Thank you so much. I am sitting here looking at the chat, and all of the accolades in this chat support my conclusion when I first met these candidates. They are stellar, they are excellent, and they're committed. And I'm just so glad that we had the turnout that we had today, over 42 participants in this meeting today. I just want to wrap up, first of all, thanking our president, Sarah Cookson, for yielding the time to us to allow our voters to understand the importance of this election and the excellence of the candidates who will be running. I just want to add one thing. There's a quote from John Lewis, and it says, "My dear friends, your vote is precious, almost sacred. It is the most powerful nonviolent tool we have to create a more perfect union. And this is so apropos to what you are hearing today, because each of these candidates spoke the truth about the state of our democracy. So I just want to remind you of your voter responsibility. First of all, check your voter status. Make sure to register to vote if you have not voted. Check your voter registration status. You can go to www.mvp.sos.ga.gov. It's my voter page. I will put it in the chat, but it's also on the Fayette Democratic Women's website. And the Fayette Democratic Women's website also warns everyone the last day to register to vote for the general primary is April 25th. So you must be registered by that time. We have an early voting schedule, May 2nd to 6th, May 9 to 13, 2022, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And mandatory Saturday voting, May 7th and May 14th, 2022, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Go to the polls and vote. You can get this detailed information on the Fayette Democratic Women's website. That is FayetteDemocraticWomen.org. Go to the political action page and you will see the information that you need in order to be in the position to make this election matter. Thank you for coming, and God bless you all. Madam President?
Thank you, Stella. Could anyone who has ability to turn your camera on for just a second, turn your camera on for me? I want to say that, first of all, thank you to the political action team who put this all together and put it together very quickly, and they did a stellar job. And that's because their leader is Stellar Owens and Heidi Davis. So thank you so much, all of you. We appreciate this. It's been wonderful. I also would like to thank Vicki Butler for being our moderator. I appreciate it. Vicki's been in the trenches. She knows what this is all about, guys. So thank you, Vicki, for your fine leadership too. I appreciate that. And Naima Gentry, thanks for thanks for everything you do to keep me going here. I appreciate being the timer. Not the easiest job, I know. Karen Rands, are you still on? I think you are. I would like for Karen to just give a quick reminder about a survey that she put out. If it is in the chat way up, but if she's online, I'd like her to put that on. Is there anything else you can add to it?
I just know that Karen is at the Stasco Memorial right now, so
Okay,
she's still on. But I did put that in the chat. Just a reminder about that survey. Is really helpful. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for doing that. Her image is still up on here. I didn't know whether she'd left already or not. So thank you, Ogechi.
I wanted to add that I took the survey and it's short, so please, everybody take the survey. We need you to do that.
It's some really important information. Please do take that survey. Okay, thank you everybody again. We have some unfinished business. Again, I'd like to point